Hello, everyone, and welcome to
WEEZCAST!
I'm your host, Aiden Morton, with co-host
Steven
and co-host
Caleb
and special guest
Noah.
Today we're going to be listening to Raditude on vinyl, so we are going to give that a listen, and we'll be right back to discuss it. Alright, so we have listened to Raditude on vinyl, so let's hop right into it with If You're Wondering If I Want You To, I Want You To. Steven, care to start us off?
Sweet. This is a great song. It's like almost perfect. The intro is like really twangy, kind of a good intro from the Red album, I guess, which was kind of a twangy album, and then it immediately the drums come in and it's like, oh, this is more of a like upbeat kind of poppy mix, and it comes in super nice and it sounds great. And then the song itself is just like such good vibes all the way through. It's a love song. I love a good love song. It's like a feel-good movie, like a Hallmark film, where it's just like,
Except
it's like he's telling this love story through a song, and it's so cheesy, and it's amazing, and it sounds great. It's like, I don't know, it's such a well-rounded song. It's definitely one of the best ones on the album, I'd say.
Agreed.
I kind of have what he said, but the rhythm in the beginning with the guitar, that's like the first thing that always stands out to me in this song and what makes it so iconic. Like he said, it's such a nice love summer vibe song to listen to. I like the vocals I think it's the bridge. I think it's really cool what they did with that, and then everything kicks back in. And yeah, I always thought, okay, so for the music video for this, when he sings it, you've seen the music video, right?
A long time ago.
Okay, well, when he's talking to the girl, when he says girl, he points. And I always thought he meant go, and I always thought he said go.
Go
And
away,
then,
woman.
but it says girl, so I'm confused why he points his finger in it and says that line.
Oh.
Like
Yeah,
he's...
I could understand the confusion there. Go. Go, girl.
Maybe he's pointing to the girl.
No, he's telling her to leave. It's so obvious.
Get the heck out of
Makes
here.
the song a bit more confusing.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm not that experienced with Weezer songs, but as soon as the song turned on, my foot was jumping. So that was the first thing I noticed. And I found the bass line was like funky.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it was funky, and I liked that part. I would definitely save it for later, for like listening to. Might even play it later. And I don't know. It was pretty good. I like it.
Good. Yeah, I think actually that's a quality that a lot of the songs on this album have, which we'll discuss more, but is they have a really, really good bass. I think it's a really nice love song, and I think it's another big jump from
love song.
It's another big jump from what we've heard so far in any of the albums prior. Like, it's very, very different, and it's different in a more fun way. I think that especially in this song too, the mix is really nice in this song, and it has a lot of acoustic guitar, and I love that about it. I also think it's really funny how he says your mom cooked meatloaf even though I don't eat meat. I dug you so much I took some for the team. So even though I don't think he's a vegetarian actually, or currently anyway, but I thought that was kind of funny. For I'm Your Daddy, I would like to hear Noah's thoughts first.
Oh, my thoughts. Well, first of all, you're my baby. Tonight. You're my baby tonight, and I'm your daddy.
Yeah.
Some good thoughts.
Yeah, dude. That was the first thing I thought when he was like, "You're my baby, I'm your daddy." I was like, "That's pretty dope." Kind of weird. But no, the bass was like awesome. It was fire, dude. I loved it. It was like groovy and ton of energy with the chorus. I found it was tons of energy. And there was like some electric bass, I think it was. It was just like
I think
an
it was like
electric sound.
synth. I think a lot of the that stuff is Rivers on the keyboard.
Okay,
doing like
I
synth on
thought
this
it was
album.
bass, but it sounded really nice. So I really like that because I don't hear that much in the songs. But yeah, I'm your baby, and you're my baby. That's how it is.
Yeah.
So I've heard this song a lot of times, so it doesn't really bother me to listen to this song. I like how catchy it is. I like the garage rock in the beginning. It's also a catchy song. One lyric that did stand out to me, which is a weird choice of words I find, is "I will ape a Goomba if you tire."
I thought I heard that.
I'm gonna explain that once it's my turn, okay?
Okay.
Unless somebody else has anything to say about
I'm
it
gonna
first.
ape a Goomba, baby.
All right, Steven.
Okay. This song, I mean, it threw me off a bit because it's weird. He's saying, "You're my baby tonight and I'm your daddy." It's like, it's kind of a weird thing to say.
Well, it's me.
But like, whatever. You know, it doesn't destroy the song or anything.
No.
It's just weird. And Weezer has a lot of weird things in their songs. So I'm not surprised. It reminds me of an 80s ballad, the way that it is. Maybe it's a synthesizer, I don't know. But I found the chorus, it felt like I was listening to an 80s song, except the instruments were kind of too rocky and overpowering. I feel like if they had a softer instrumental mix for the chorus, then it would be perfect and it would sound really good. As it is, it's like not bad, but I feel like it, I don't know, could have been better. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
There's one part where it goes just straight up synth, and then it does that dying, and then punches right back into the chorus. I thought that was really cool, and yeah, like again, the lyrics are kind of weird. Like it's weird, like baby and daddy and stuff. Like it's like, I don't know, almost gross, but it's the song pulls off not making it sound gross. Now, concerning Ape a Goomba, okay, what he's saying is, so he's talking about being like eating a cheese fondue and being like out at an Italian restaurant. What he's saying by Ape a Goomba, I actually had Googled this before. He's basically saying that he's going to do a really crappy Italian impression.
Okay, I had a very different idea.
Really? See,
Yeah.
I was picturing like Donkey Kong.
Because I think
me too.
Donkey Kong killing a Goomba. No, because I think
Yeah.
a Goomba is like, it's like a slang. It's like an Italian slang, or a slang for Italian people.
Goomba.
Is that why Goombas in Mario are called Goombas? Because Mario's Italian?
That wouldn't surprise me, actually. That makes a lot of sense.
Oh my gosh.
What is happening? One last thing I forgot to say. As much as I don't really like that he says "I'm your daddy," I do like the way that he says it.
How did I know that's what you were gonna say?
Oh,
I
that's
don't
weird.
well because I always talk about how he says things.
Yeah.
Because sometimes he says things weird, but I don't know, just the way he says "I'm your daddy," like it just sounds fun. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, one thing's for certain, the girl got hot. Who
Yes,
is she?
did.
Kiki D.
don't
Who would
think
like to start for the girl got hot?
I do.
All right, go
Oh,
ahead,
This is,
Caleb.
I love this song on this album.
Okay.
It's one of the better ones as well.
It is.
It's such a pop song. Kicks in with that heavy guitar, which I love again, and it's such a fun rhythm. I love the chorus part when like everything stops and it says "the girl got hot."
Yeah.
I like how hip it is. The backup vocals for the I think it's the bridge is really cool, and then it's just a fun love song as well.
I found it was like a bit catchy, but it's not something I'd listen to all the time.
That's 'cause
it'd be like I'd have to like listen to it a bit, you know, to get used to it.
Yeah,
to be more.
This
accustomed to
album is more like you have to get used to the songs to appreciate them more.
it. Yeah, because I first time listening to them, it's like they're a little weird, a little left field. You know what I'm saying? It sounds like a 2015 song. If I'm gonna be honest, it sounds like that type of.
They were ahead of their time.
Wow.
Because it's 2009, baby.
I don't think he's actually singing about Kiki D. Is he?
I think he is, but you continue. I would like to hear what
Because-
you're saying.
I don't think she's hot.
Why?
Because I don't think she is.
Right, we're doing Kiki D.
He specifically says,
Yeah, but
she
he
got
said
hot.
he was at a concert. He said the crowd parted and there was the band, and there was Kiki D. I think he was at a Kiki D concert.
is Kiki D a musician?
Yeah.
Oh.
Who did you think it was?
I don't know who Kiki.
Maybe
is.
he knew Kiki D in high school.
Yeah, I don't know if he knows Kiki D or if
Okay.
he's singing about her. I feel like that would be a little bit weird.
Or if he just needs a lyric in his song.
Yeah, maybe just fill it in. You know.
Okay.
Oh,
Well,
I don't
continue.
even have my notes. I was just trying to figure out if that was who the song was about. But it's a really like fun song, and it's kind of funny. It's really really shallow though. There's like not anything to it lyrically. It's just like this girl is all of a sudden hot, and then he goes on to describe all her fancy clothes, which is like, I mean, clothes don't really have to do a lot with whether someone's hot or not. So
Well, you got a Weezer shirt on, so
Pretty hot.
pretty hot.
well, it's because it's Weezer Wednesday.
Baby got hot.
So like it's musically fun and swingy, and I think it also grabs your attention with the name of the song and just immediately the way he starts telling a story. I'm a sucker for a good storytelling song.
They're gonna say a sucker for Weezer.
I am a sucker for Weezer, but it reminds me of the meme, "Be careful who you call ugly" in middle school. It makes me think of that because, like Steven said, it is super shallow, and it just kind of goes to show you should be nice to everyone. So, like...
That's something that ugly people say.
Oh my god!
Did I just get roasted? But, so yeah, like he's basically saying that she didn't really matter in high school, but now she does matter because she's attractive, which is, like, not a good moral, but I mean, it is a good moral to just be nice to everyone.
Even for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, I mean, just be nice to everybody. If that's everything everyone has to say about that song, we'll continue with the poor morals.
Okay, Can't Stop Partying. I love this song. This is the only song from the album that I have saved in my Spotify, but I'm probably going to save one or two others after this because I kind of forgot how good they were, or didn't realize the first time I listened to it. But this song, I feel like it was created like with a recipe for like a popular pop song. Like they took a cookie cutter and made this song with it. It's like turn up the auto-tune, have a rapper come in and do a couple lines, do the chorus this many times. It just sounds very well polished, put together, like it's meant to be on the radio. And that's the kind of song I like, I guess.
You friggin' normie.
It's very catchy, it's very groovy, and I find it strangely relatable. I do love parties. I love partying, and I don't know, maybe if I could never stop partying, maybe I never would. I don't know. But, I mean, there aren't constant parties that I can just always be partying at, so I don't know. But I like how he calls it, like, his addiction, and he says, "Screw rehab, I love my addiction." And to me, I find that relatable because sometimes we have issues that we know about, but we love them, and we don't want to change, and we just feel like why go through all the trouble of trying to make myself better or make my life better when I don't want to, and I want to stick to my addiction or this issue that I have. So it's like it's almost
Like a parallel?
yeah, but it's also just a very fun song.
It is.
Yeah.
So 2 albums before, Beverly Hills. This song always reminds me of like a sequel to Beverly Hills. And the way how he's fantasizing about jewels, cars, girls, and his life as a celebrity. Yeah. So, it's like before he was fantasizing about it, and then this song's like, oh, he has that life, he loves it, kind of. That's what always reminds me of it. One line that did confuse me is, "I pray the killer doesn't take the life of the party," which is a really weird line, I find.
Yeah. I feel like there's some sort of...
Yeah, I was kind of confused. Is he like gonna get killed or something? I didn't.
I think I don't think he really... He either means something very deep by it or doesn't mean anything at all. Like, I don't know.
See,
just like...
that's what confuses me.
He's scared that somebody's gonna, like, pull the plug on the party and that it's gonna stop because it's all he knows. Because he just can't stop partying.
Oh.
That's my thoughts on it.
That makes
That was
sense.
quick.
So,
I don't
like,
know how you
maybe
thought
it's-
about that.
Well, I was kind of thinking that while he was doing that. But
That is smart.
I never thought he meant anything deep or anything like that.
Well, for me, I didn't write much down for this one, but I thought the sounds were unique. I thought that was pretty cool. I don't know what stood out about me. I kind of forget the songs because I'm stupid. But the Lil Wayne guy, I don't know. I found his lines were kind of stupid and he kind of sounded dumb.
agreed.
I thought you guys were gonna like really like him, so I'm like, oh, maybe I'll hold off on talking. He kind of sounds like a little idiot, man. I didn't like him, so.
Maybe you should stop mixing alcohol with pharmaceuticals.
Yeah, and then he wouldn't sound so stupid.
but it wasn't like bad. It was just like it was kind of bad.
it has that token clicking of the lighter, like he's lighting up a joint before he raps, and that's something that like a lot of rappers do, but especially Lil Wayne, I find. I don't really like Lil Wayne. He has a couple good songs. He's mostly trash, and if I'm being entirely honest, in this song he sounds like Whoopi Goldberg. Like he really does. Whoopi Goldberg, she voices one of the hyenas, the main hyena in The Lion King.
Oh, no way.
And she's like...
She's in Star Trek: The Next Generation.
But
I never watched that.
Most people know who Whoopi Goldberg is, and Lil Wayne sounds like Whoopi in this song. So I thought that was interesting. To go to the beginning of my notes on it, musically, it has the bones of classic Weezer, like the downstrokes on the guitar. The electric guitar has it's subtle, like it's very much lower because there's so much added into the song, like synth and stuff. But like the bones of the song are classic Weezer, which is kind of neat. Which I found easier to hear on the vinyl as well. And it's kind of a neat song. I do think that the song lacks sincerity. In fact, I would say there's likely some ironic message to it that I'm missing, just because Rivers is very much not this way, because he's kind of like a geeky loser guy. Like he's not one of those celebrities who's like a wild partier. Like he's just not that way. So, and I like that Lil Wayne says upside down MTV.
I don't get that.
Okay, so MTV's music television. It's where like people used to always watch music videos and stuff because it's constantly playing music videos. But it's the M is upside down M W, because it's Weezer and it's Wheezy. Because Lil Wayne goes by Wheezy, people call him Wheezy. No way. So it's Weezer, Wheezy. That's why it says B. It's Weezer and it's Wheezy.
So it's Weezer and Wheezy TV.
Upside down MTV. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
I thought. Yeah, I actually thought that he had some good lines in there. I just thought he sounded a little weird.
Yeah, his voice sounds dumb. Like I feel like they could have definitely had a better rapper for the song, but the fact that Lil Wayne collaborated with Weezer is like kind of blows my mind a little bit. If I was doing all that partying, I would definitely need somebody to put me back together.
Oh boy. You and your segues.
You would be a party animal. Put me back together. It was a really nice intro. I really liked that. But I found verse 2, he was like dissing himself. He's just calling himself like this loser. He's useless tool. Something like that.
Classic Rivers.
Dude, I was like, oh my gosh. But I really like the intro, and then he just disses himself. I'm like, oh, that sucks. It was like but to be honest, it was like a poorly written story. If I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really like the song. It's kind of bad, but I also found it was nice. The music in it was nice.
This song is another one that I relate to my relationship with God. I do that a lot with Weezer songs for some reason. I know the way he writes about his relationships are like, oh, you know what? That's kind of how I relate to the Lord sometimes. Because he says, when I fall down, you put me back together. It's like, yeah, that's how it is with God. Yeah. And the song, it sounds really sad, and it is sad because he says, it's clear that I'm not getting better. And he talks about how, like when he's, I don't remember exactly what he says, but he says something about doing better, but then it turns out it wasn't real, or like it just didn't last, and it basically when he falls apart, like that's his true self, which is something that I struggle with and a lot of people do, is feeling like when we're doing well, it's just temporary, and when we're doing badly, that's permanent. Whereas we could easily see it the other way around. When we're doing badly, that's temporary, and when we're doing well, that's permanent. And it's all about your perspective. So it does sound really sad in that way. And pretty much the only like encouraging or hopeful part is that you put me back together. And so if he's singing about a human, which I assume he is, then it's just sad. But if you're singing about God, then it actually is hopeful, because he does put us back together, and he does give us hope and bring us to where we should be. So, and it's a nice sounding song. It's a good, slow, emotional song. So I like it.
Wow, you made my opinion sound awful.
Well, I mean, that's in the perspective of entirely changing who he's singing to.
I guess so.
Although I've had that thought before, too, about how that song can kind of be related to God as opposed to a person.
I think River wants to get into rap, but also since his career is toward his style, I think he just thought the way to make it as his own style and wants to put in rap, I think rhyming was the only thing he could come up with. That's what I thought. It's a nice casual song. It's not bad to listen to. It's decent. I don't think it's bad. It's just fun, and yeah.
I think that this is the first song on the album that seems very sincerely Rivers. Even like Noah's saying with the self-deprecating, because there's still like, even though this is now the second album that they recorded after he got married, and I feel like he had all the confidence and arrogance in the world in the Red album, whereas this one, I think most of the arrogance that's portrayed is not sincere, and I think that the confidence, though, like, in some of them is sincere. But it seems like it's a song being in a situation of it being a real girl. Like, he often has like songs where he's singing about this fantasy girl who isn't even real, but I think he's singing about a real person. But it's not a girl that he's with, but a girl that he wants to be with, or maybe even like he has a friendship with her and it means a lot to him, and she builds him up and is a great friend, and he wants it to be more, but it's not. Go for it, Noah.
Tripping Down the Freeway, side B. I really liked that part. Awesome song. At the beginning, it was like the first thing I wrote down was like, I really like it. It's freaking awesome. And then the lyrics were like written in a way better story than the other one that Put Me Back Together. I found that the lyrics were way better in this one. I don't know, because I guess I'm like that. And there's not much to say about it, but I just really like it. Like, I'd save it for later and I'd listen to it. That's me.
Cool. I think that's really interesting that you found that it's funny to have the varying opinions, because for me, I think that the way the song starts out is really like wonky and off-putting and doesn't sound good. I think the verses in the song, like the lyrics overall, are good, because it's like a song about not giving up through the hard times and like pulling together through situations together as a couple. But like the verses don't sound good to me anyway. But I love the chorus. It's like really uppity, it's fun, it's uplifting. This is I believe the first song on the album too that has a solo, and it's a pretty cool one at that. And then this one is another one where it's like the bass really stands out. So when he says, "Oh no, we ain't gonna break up," he's doing that, and it's just him and the bass going, and the bass builds it. It's like, wow, oof, I love that. The last thing that I'll say about this one is that I never noticed before that he's referencing years. So this is in like 2009. He says 08 or 09 will be together till I believe
End of time.
Till the end of time. And then later in the song he says 10 and 11, and then something about being up in heaven. So it's kind of cool. He takes that part of the song and changes the lyrics to progress through the years. I thought that was neat. It's a nice uplifting song. That's pretty cool.
So I love the guitar. I don't know what song I'm thinking of, but I think it's Dope Nose that it reminds me of. Love how fun the song is. I like the way River sings in this song out of the album. And yeah, it's just a fun song. The chorus is great. Lyrics are pretty good. And yeah, it's also one of those songs that aren't bad to listen to.
I also liked this song. But like Aiden, I didn't care for the verses. And I really do like the chorus. However, I don't understand why it's called Trippin' Down the Freeway. It just seems like a random line he tagged at the end of the chorus to make it rhyme. Like, it just doesn't... I don't know why they're tripping down the freeway. I feel like this song is written about his wife, because one line in the chorus says, "We made a promise and we're going to stick to it," or something like that.
Yeah.
So he's talking about how they're not going to break up in all of their struggles and everything. They're going to stick together throughout the years. So I think that's really cool. And the chorus does sound really good. So that's my take.
All right, I'm going to start us off actually with Love is the Answer, because I have some interesting facts about it.
Love is not the answer.
Very cool.
Well, actually, God is love, and God is the answer. So if you change this song to being about God instead of the new age, like, the within yourself, love, like self-love is the answer. If you change it to that, it's a very accurate song. But the interesting thing about this song is Rivers actually wrote this song with, I believe, the boys from Sugar Ray. They wrote the song together, and then Sugar Ray published it. Like, Rivers does a lot of songwriting with other artists. So they published it, and then Rivers used the song as well on Raditude, and then did this like Indian version of it that has like the lady singing in Hindi, and like all the Hindi parts are just the same lyrics. I had my brother who speaks Hindi confirm that it's the same lyrics that Rivers is singing. It's just kind of repeated.
You know what? That makes sense, because on the cover of the album it says Hindi version. I was like, why are they calling it that when it's their own song? So yeah, okay, that
But
makes
that's
sense.
just it, because it's not. And I will say the Sugar Ray version kicks butt. Like I love the Sugar Ray version. It's really, really good. The solo, phenomenal, way better than on the sitar. Like it's really good, and I would love to hear Rivers singing with the instrumental of Sugar Ray's. But yeah, that's my piece about that song. Steven?
For this one I wrote, if you're into Indian music, ...
Loves the answer.
Because this just sounds like an Indian kind of song, which, you know, if you're into that, then this is a good song. I don't really care for Indian music too much. I don't speak Hindi, so I don't get the lyrics.
Now you do.
As for the lyrics, it's funny that Aiden said if you switch it to be about God, then it is accurate, which is the same thing that I wrote. Because they say trust in the world, which is really stupid. But if you change it to trust in the Lord, then, oh, this song actually makes a lot of sense. Yeah, don't trust in the world, because the world kind of sucks. I mean, the world is good, but it's also not.
Corrupt.
Yes. It's a very hippie kind of song.
Yes.
You know, it's all about just love is the answer. It's not specific at all. It's very vague. Yeah, I didn't really enjoy it very much. It was just meh.
To be honest, the first thought as soon as the instruments kicked in, I was like Egyptian jungle vibes, but then I was quickly corrected. It's India vibes, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then he said love is the answer, and I'm like, well, love is not the answer, but maybe it is. I don't know. I'm just anyway. I would say it's like a really warm feeling song, but like as soon as that lady started singing, I'm like, what the heck? I was not prepared for it, and I thought it was really weird. But then like near the end of the song, I grew more accustomed to it, and I was like, okay, she's got a really good voice.
It was like culture shock at first.
Yeah, honestly, I was like, what the heck, left field, right? But no, she she had a good voice. I wouldn't listen to it again.
Well, from half of the opposite opinion of that, my exact words is, I want to throw up. Wait, I changed my mind. I want to die.
Oh, pretty good.
Wow.
Pretty good.
Rivers' lines were fine. It's that woman's lines. They were awful. I wanted to plug my ears.
Really?
It sounded so bad. It was cringe.
I thought she had a good voice. Oh well. Actually, something that I wrote down was like, it sounded like she had a bee in her throat at first, because I was not prepared for it.
That's so weird. My younger brothers were saying the exact same thing yesterday about my sister's Indian music. They're saying it sounds like they have bees in the microphone.
Yeah,
So,
man.
That's the strat.
That's
Is it
their
the
accent.
auto-tone? Is that what makes it sound weird?
No,
They
it's just,
made up their language
just how
to
that music
communicate
is.
with bees.
Ugh.
They do something with their voice that sounds
yeah,
very weird.
sounds
I
like
don't know.
bees. We should stop
It's
before
unique.
something racist gets said, or rather, something more racist.
I don't think it sounds like bees, but I found it really weird that you said that, and so did my brothers, independently of each other.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Anyways, the next song.
Steven, let it all hang out.
Sure, yeah. This song immediately starts with electric guitar, and it just is like, oh, now we're into rock. So far, it's been more pop, and then the last one was Indian for some reason, and then this one's like, okay, we're back into the old kind of Weezer, a little bit more grungy. Unfortunately, it's not really a great song. It just doesn't sound that good. It's about leaving your worries and troubles behind and going out and having a fun night with the boys, letting it all hang out. Great. However, I still don't enjoy it because it just doesn't sound very good. And the lyrics are also kind of depressing because it's like, yeah, let it all hang out, have a fun night, but then there's still all these issues in your life that you're singing about, and it's like, okay, the night's going to be over and you're going to be depressed again.
Yikes.
So that's probably not my least favorite, but my least favorite so far.
To me, it feels like right now you're the killer taking the life of the party.
Oh, whoa.
I'm
Roasted.
sorry,
You
but
see that?
I think
He took
River
lyrics.
is the killer taking the life of the party.
He literally took
With the
lyrics
song.
and roasted you.
All right.
Gosh.
I've always liked the opening guitar solo. Probably one of the most iconic parts on this album. The whole song is a bop. It's definitely one of the better songs as well. And you can tell that Rivers really wants to dance. And if he really wants to, why doesn't he just do it? Because this is like his third song talking about dancing on this album. And that's not including the other albums, just this album.
I'm sure he does dance in his spare time.
Well, the only thing I wrote down for this was it sounded like Weezer. Like, as soon as it was like, boom, it's just Weezer. I'm like, well, Aiden's gonna love this one. I know it.
Yeah.
Like, he's gonna love it. Caleb's gonna love it. I didn't think of you, Steven, to be honest.
Because you always have the worst opinions on this show.
Oh my.
Sometimes.
Excuse me?
He's out of line, but he's right.
You know what? No, I'm not.
You
I'll
think?
just
Sorry,
say
continue to what you were
Okay,
saying.
well, I didn't have much to say. It's just it really sounded like a Weezer song, like it has Weezer imprinted in the like how he said cookie cutters or whatever. It's just
Okay.
a cookie cutter of Weezer.
That makes it sound a little less flattering, but
It's pretty cool though.
okay.
There you go.
I think it's chill vibes. It's a chill vibe song. It's almost like an anthem. It's like an anthem for partying. Ironically, it's
Weezer's
like
anthem.
you sometimes you need that, because I can relate. It's like, oh, I gotta pay for this and I gotta pay for that, and it's like things stressing you out. But sometimes you just gotta go out with the boys and have a good time and forget about it. And I think that's awesome. So
Be a
even though it's freaking what left field. All right. So anyway, so even though it's kind of like depressing that he's singing about these troubles, you know what? It's kind of awesome because you can't just worry about that stuff all the time, and obviously you should try to fix it. But you also got to get out and have a good time, especially with your boys. And also my question about the song is, who is JD? He says about sharing chiclets with JD and drinking vitamin water. You know where they probably got the vitamin water though, right?
No.
They probably got it in the mall.
Oh my
Of
gosh.
Oh,
I was
boy.
gonna say that.
And the thing about In the Mall is it's a really weird song about hanging out in the mall. I don't think there's any sort of double meaning to it. I don't think there's any depth to it. I like that he references going on the elevator and escalator because when I was younger, I used to love going to the mall and going into Sport Check or whatever it's called
Yeah.
and going on the escalator. I still do, to be honest. I see an escalator and I am on that. So, yeah. And also apparently Pat wrote this song, which explains why the solo sounds very similar to The Special Goodness.
This song is so uncreative and lazy, both lyrically and musically. There's literally nothing good about it. Nothing to appreciate about it. It's just them saying, I'm in the mall. Yeah, we're doing weird stuff in the mall. Like, shut up. I don't care. Like,
We're smoking and smoking.
maybe make a song that sounds good or has something to sing about. Like, besides being in the mall. It's just a really dumb song, and I don't know why it exists. I feel like they just needed another song just to fill up the album, and they're like, Pat, just write something. Write about something, anything. He's like, I don't know. What did you do yesterday? I went to the mall. Write about that. Just give us a song.
That's
I don't
probably
know.
because Rivers can't think of anything, and he doesn't want to make anything too bad, so he just puts it all to blame on Pat.
Well, no, here's the thing. I've not listened to the unreleased Raditude years on Weezify yet. I will, but that's the thing is Rivers has so many songs he's written that are like pure gold that never got released but are now available on the app that he made, Weezify. Download it, buy the packs.
This
It's
is not
worth
sponsored.
it. But anyway, so continue, Caleb. Sorry.
Oh, okay. So I just want to say this song and the last song give me Everything Will Be Alright vibes, like with the music and everything. Not the lyrics though. The whole song. Sorry, no, that was from the last song. Just before the solo comes in, he like does this like moan or something.
I'm not sure what you're referring to, but I'm gonna have to
Did
look.
you
not
hear that? Just before the solo came on,
Like-
he's like,
I think I do know what
He's
you're talking
wheezing.
about.
Oh,
He's such a
no.
Weezer.
Oh my gosh.
But I mean, it sounds like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like the
Alright.
solo was amazing. Probably, like, yeah, it was good.
Well, I found the guitar was like super aggressive.
The Qatar.
The guitar with a Q.
Huh.
I found it was like super aggressive, and I found it was like really cool, and how it like lined up when he was singing. I'm in the mall or whatever, something like that. It was like the guitar was singing. I'm in the mall, and I thought I don't know. It was like really, really. I don't know. I really liked it. Unlike Steven. Steven thought it was trash.
Yeah, but he still has a valid opinion.
True. And
Yeah.
so do I.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, Steven.
My God.
I just think the lyrics.
You like the Green Album. So.
Yes, I
Which
do.
isn't wrong, but since he says it's number one.
No,
That's
he
the-
doesn't anymore. He
no,
doesn't.
no,
any-
not
okay,
number
back on
one.
track. Back on track.
It's just in one of the top ones.
All right.
I will say, In the Mall doesn't sound terrible. It's just pointless.
You can't seem to let that go, Steven.
I cannot. Okay.
And I don't want to let you go.
You don't want to let me go, so you want one of them to go first? Or?
Noah, you start us off. What do you think of I Don't Want to Let You Go?
Well, I think he really makes you feel what he's saying. I found it was pretty nice at the end of the album. I found it to be something like you just kind of like zone out into. You just sit there and you listen to it and you just feel what he's saying. I found I really like felt what he was saying. That was basically it. But I liked it. I don't know. It was something I would want to listen to. Just sitting there.
Cool.
This is a really good song. I was glad that this song was the last one on the album, because after the last three, I was feeling like there's no good songs on the second half of this album. But this one is. And it's very good. This song, to me, I feel like it really captures the essence of being desperately in love, to the point where he's like in pain because he wants to be with this person so badly. And it's a nice, like, it's a really, the music really complements the lyrics, and it just sounds very romantic and emotional. And it's got, it has bells in it, which is a great addition. It sounds kind of like a Christmas song, but Christmas songs are great. So that's not a bad thing. But yeah, it's a beautiful song. Great way to end the album, even though it's kind of doesn't really fit with the rest of the vibe of the album. But I would say the whole second half of the album doesn't fit well with the first half. So yeah, this last song is excellent.
Okay.
I have nothing much to say about this song. It was very decent, and I don't know. I didn't care for it, but I only have 5 words to say for it. Sounds like a Christmas song. That's all I have to say.
Okay.
It just reminded me of a Christmas song.
I will say that I think the song is about kind of what Steven's saying, feelings not being reciprocated, and he's having a hard time with it. And he's almost acknowledging that he could let her go. It's not that he can't let her go. He doesn't want to because he's just so in love with her. So, yeah. And one line that actually I think of a lot, it's kind of like something that I try to keep in my mind, is no one likes too much attention from a desperate fool. I try to not be a desperate fool, which is hard.
Like Rivers.
Which is hard coming from a desperate fool. So, yeah. So I've always really, really liked that song. I think it's one of the best on the album. Definitely best on side B. Yeah.
Agreed.
So let's move on to our overall album thoughts, and I will start us off. I'm going to say that it's a fun album. It does have a couple bangers. There's certainly nothing to complain about, in my opinion. I know you don't agree, Steven. There's nothing to complain about it. Like, at worst, it's generic. Some of the songs on it. It is widely considered Weezer's worst album. It's not really special, but I give it a 3 out of 5. I had given it 3.2 actually before we started discussing it, but as we discuss it more, I'd say I'd give it a 3, just because side B is so underwhelming. Caleb, what are your thoughts?
I think starting from now and from before, Rivers used to talk more about his life and what he wants, and but now he's doing these goofy lyrics, and which isn't bad, but it's different. So that's very interesting. And for each album, I like how Rivers has its own unique way for each album, and he just keeps doing that, and then it's iconic for Weezer. Either the song was good or decent. As like what you said is, I don't think the album was awful. Out of most albums that we've listened to, there's a few songs that I really hated on a few of the albums, but this one I found it was easy to listen through, especially since I've probably heard it a lot of times. I would not say it's the worst album. I'd give it a 4.2, especially how much time I've had to appreciate it.
I already touched on this a bit, how the first half was significantly better than the second. I like most of the songs on the first half, and I dislike most of the songs on the second half. However, the songs that I do like, I find they're very good, whereas the songs I don't like, they're not very bad. They're only slightly bad. So overall, I'd give this album a 3.7 out of 5.
Fair enough.
Oh, decent. You're my baby, and I'm your. It's just not my style, I guess. It's just, but I found like the instruments was just pretty cool, but it was just too Weezer for me. I don't know, man. Too Weezer type.
That's fair.
Guy.
I mean, it is a Weezer album.
It is Weezer.
Gosh darn it.
It's like 100%. Well, not 100%.
No, it's not.
There's Wheezy and there's Indian lady.
Lady in there.
Yeah.
Yep.
She didn't sound
choking
like
on
that.
them
She's that worse.
so
you're getting a bit further.
No, he's getting it right.
So I would say it's kind of pretty cool, but it's a 2 because I'm only gonna save 2 songs out of it.
2 out of 5. I think that's our lowest rating.
Also,
yet.
what was your favorite song on the album?
I did like Tripping Down the Freeway, but I'm gonna have to say I Want You or whatever.
If you're wondering if I want you to, I want you to.
That's your favorite one?
So my overall favorite, absolutely 100%, because it's
the
a
best
banger.
choice.
I'm wondering if you, whatever the heck,
Yep.
I Want You To, that song.
All right.
That's my opinion.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for listening, and thank you, Noah, for joining us tonight for this episode.
Oh, yeah.
This has been
WEEZCAST!
Tune in next week for Hurley.